Hey guys, it's Vena, Cain. It's April 2020 and we are in the midst of a global pandemic. It's moving around the world and we are experiencing an unprecedented moment in our lifetime. We are all feeling a lot of different emotions and processing them in our own ways. One thing that I've been struggling with lately is allowing myself to feel joy. Why does this moment feel so spiritual and beautiful to me, whilst everyone else seems to be crippled with fear and anxiety? Does this make me a bad person? There are people dying throughout this pandemic. Should I feel guilty for feeling joy during this time? I'll touch on a few of these things and more.
This recording is intended for entertainment purposes only. Please do not watch or listen while driving or in any situation where it is not safe to relax or fall asleep.
We are all in the same boat. We are not all in the same storm. For some people, it's sprinkling. This is a break. It's a breather. It's a pause in the normal. It's a time to reconnect with family and slow down. Honestly, it's kind of peaceful. For some, it's a storm. It's a bit scary. It's disruptive. It's enough to make you stay up and watch the news and worry. For some, it's a hurricane. It's tearing at the boards and pulling off the roof. It's washing them out to sea. It's dark and unknown. It's life-changing. It's not wrong to be enjoying the sprinkles or enduring the storm, but please don't negate the difference. Rest with family, but don't minimize a hurricane engulfing your neighbor. Laugh at a meme, but get on your knees for your friends. We are in the midst of a global pandemic. It's currently reaching new heights in America, and people are reacting in different ways, in all of our own ways. I saw this quote online and thought it really captured the multitude of emotions and perspectives we are all experiencing and moving through as a collective during this unprecedented moment in our lifetimes. This crisis is felt all over the world, in almost every single country. It feels bizarre that friends and family on different continents are all experiencing the same life-altering event at the same time. We're all sheltering in place and in isolation, but together. There's a sense of unity in our aloneness, even on the other side of the world. People are losing their lives. Some are on the verge of losing their jobs or homes, their businesses. Others of us staying up late into the night worrying about our immunocompromised family members and fearing for our frontline workers. Many of us are having difficulties dealing with the anxiety of not knowing how COVID will ultimately unfold. It feels like an emotional roller coaster. We're all trying our best to get through it. For those of us who are more privileged, we're able to comfortably stay home from work. We can use this time to reconnect with our families, neighbors, and most of all, to ourselves. Some of us aren't experiencing COVID in survival or panic mode and are able to use this time for things like introspection and spiritual reflection. We are actually enjoying the fact that life has suddenly slowed down. It's been confusing, and I've struggled with how to talk about this because I've felt a lot of guilt in the last few months as COVID has picked up around the world and in America. It's been hard to admit that this time of pause, as I'm able to call it, has been one of the most beautiful spiritual experiences of my life. I'm watching people around the world, in this country, and within my own community struggle with learning how to cope through this experience, and I have often wondered why it has felt so different for me. How is it possible that I am simultaneously feeling great sadness for the struggles I see other people dealing with, and also feel like this is such a beautiful time in my life? Is something wrong with me? I shared these sentiments with a group a few weeks ago, and a wise woman said to me, "We're all having the experience that we're meant to be having." And suddenly, in that moment, I felt like I understood. But then I thought to myself, what of the people around the world who are dying? New questions began to arise. Over the last few months, I've vacillated between feelings of connectedness and gratitude and deep spirituality, as well as anxiety and guilt and helplessness. Then one day I came across an incredibly beautiful message online attributed to White Eagle and their view on the times we are going through. Although this message is about the pandemic, I feel as though it applies just as well to other times in our lives we may be struggling, and I wanted to share it with you today. This moment humanity is going through can be seen as a portal and as a hole. The decision to fall into the hole or go through the portal is up to you. If they repent of the problem and consume the news 24 hours a day with little energy, nervous all the time, with pessimism, they will fall into the hole. But if you take this opportunity to look at yourself, rethink life and death, take care of yourself and others, you will cross the portal. Take care of your home, take care of your body, connect with the middle body of your spiritual house. All this is synonymous, that is to say, the same. When you are taking care of one, you are taking care of everything else. Do not lose the spiritual dimension of this crisis. Have the aspect of the eagle, which from above sees the whole, sees more widely. There is a social demand in this crisis, but there is also a spiritual demand. The two go hand in hand. Without the social dimension, we fall into fanaticism. But without the spiritual dimension, we fall into pessimism and lack of meaning. You are prepared to go through this crisis. Take your toolbox and use all the tools at your disposal. Learn about resistance with indigenous and African peoples. We have always been and continue to be exterminated, but we still haven't stopped singing, dancing, lighting a fire, and having fun. Don't feel guilty about being happy during this difficult time. You don't help at all by being sad and without energy. It helps if good things emanate from the universe right now. It is through joy that one resists. Also, when the storm passes, you will be very important in the reconstruction of this new world. You need to be well and strong. And for that, there is no other way than to maintain a beautiful, happy, and bright vibration. This has nothing to do with alienation. This is a resistance strategy. In shamanism, there is a rite of passage called the quest for vision. You spend a few days alone in the forest, without water, without food, without protection. When you go through this portal, you get a new vision of the world because you have faced your fears, your difficulties. This is what is asked of you. Let them take advantage of this time to perform their vision-seeking rituals. What world do you want to build for yourself? For now, this is what you can do. Serenity in the storm. Calm down and pray every day. Establish a routine to meet the sacred every day. Good things emanate. What you emanate now is the most important thing. And sing, dance, resist through art, joy, faith, and love. I read this and it resonated with me on a very deep level. This message helped me realize that my feelings of spirituality and gratitude during this difficult time could be used as a positive tool for the world. It helps me understand that my power rests in the choice to step into my authenticity, and I can emanate joy rather than bury these feelings as I had unconsciously been doing. We can use these feelings to help support others who may need more of our light right now. For those of you who have the space, and it's okay if you don't, but for those of you that do, no matter how big or how small, we can harness this energy to bring forth more joy and therefore hope when our world needs it most. I read an article by Tara Brach recently, and in the article she wrote about a story she heard from a well-known Vietnamese Zen master named Thich Nhat Hanh. He said, when the crowded Vietnamese refugee boats met with storms or pirates, if everyone panicked, all would be lost. But if even one person on the boat remained calm and centered, it was enough. It showed the way for everyone to survive. I love this story because it reminds me that even just one single person can make a difference, even in unprecedented times like this. I can use my joy and serenity to resist the storms we are experiencing now. the sadness and the despair we feel for those who are sick and in pain, our feelings of helplessness against an invisible virus, the negativity of the media, the constant and incessant fear-mongering, the rampant racism, and all the other overwhelming reminders that society uses to convince us that we're separate. I encourage you today, if you feel any amount of joy, any amount of warmth, any amount of gratitude, and not only through our current crisis, but any time you're moving through a difficult issue, whether it's your personal life or with the world, remember that you have your joy, no matter how big or how small, and that you may emanate that joy as an act of resistance, as a statement of hope. And when you're ready, just go ahead and bring your eyes to a gentle close, bringing both of your hands to your heart, just resting them gently on your chest, and gently inhaling deeply in and exhaling out completely. And again, inhaling deeply through your nostrils, and exhaling nice and easy all the way out. And continuing with your breathing, relaxing your shoulders away from your ears. And just continuing to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Your hands gently resting on your chest, just noticing the rise and the gentle fall of your chest beneath your palms. And slowly on one of your next inhales, doesn't have to be your next one, but in one of them, as you inhale, I want you to think of something that you feel grateful for in this moment. It doesn't have to be extravagant. It could be something really simple, even just a cup of coffee. Maybe it's a pet. Maybe it's your partner, children, or another family member. Whatever it is, continuing on your inhales, bringing that person or thing to mind. And as you keep this person or thing in your mind, deeply breathing in, bringing in that gratitude as you think of this person or thing, and exhaling that gratitude all the way out and into the world. And we'll continue that A few more times, breathing in, thinking of that thing or person that you feel grateful for. And exhaling, breathing all the way out, sharing that gratitude with the world. You can stay here and continue on. Or if you're ready, just gently bring your breath back to a more normal pace, if you will. And gently blinking your eyes open whenever you're ready. Bringing your hands back down to your sides. And peace be with you as you continue on with the rest of your day or night. Thank you for joining me today.